It was a shock. I never would have dreamt just in my whole lifetime that I would ever end up being in jail, and especially with my past. I didn't go in jail. Didn't go to jail then, but go to jail as a Christian was a real shock. I just, I think God's timing is perfect every time, and if me going to jail is what it took to stir people and to wake people up and to just make people realize that it's not just the bakers and the florists and the wedding planners, that it could be someone like me who issues the license, or it could be a magistrate who performs a marriage ceremony. And I think people are realizing that it's not just if it happens, but when it happens to them, that they're going to need to be prepared and ready, because they could end up being in the same situation that I was.
So what was the rationale, without getting into it too deeply because I know our time is limited, but this is a situation when you think about a judge placing you in jail for standing by your faith convictions, that's very troubling.
Sure it is. He told me that I could take my faith off and leave it in my vehicle before I stepped in my door. And I said, "Sir, with all due respect, you can't take off something that is ingrained in your soul. It's not like a coat that I can take off."
And you were not really, when the court action began, you weren't really trying to, you were just asking for an accommodation.
That's exactly
basically.
right.
What were you wanting to, in this situation, what were you wanting to accomplish or to see happen?
I simply wanted my name and my authority removed from that license. I didn't want to be any part of it, didn't want to have any any kind of connection to it.
And what eventually, for those that may have followed the story to a point, was there some sort of accommodation that was granted? I believe that the judge may have gotten involved, but the real accommodation for you and others in your same position didn't come until Matt Bevin was elected governor.
Yes, I have nothing but good to say about our governor. He is truly a man of God who allows his moral compass to lead and guide him. He campaigned heavily that he was standing behind me and my choices, and that as governor he would make his first executive order to remove the names of the clerk's signature and their names off of the marriage license, which he did. And then the Senate and our legislators passed a bill that actually codified that and changed the whole marriage license form and stuff, that removed everything, made it a state issue then.
Right. Why were you released from jail?
I'm really not for sure, because I was in for the long haul.
Right.
I had planned to stay until the legislators met, and didn't have any problem doing that. I'm not sure. I was sentenced to jail with no release date. He told me that when I decided that I could follow his order and carry out his order, that he would release me. So on Tuesday, when I was getting ready, I was going to meet Mike Huckabee. I didn't know that he was having a rally outside for me, but I thought he was just coming to visit. So when the jailer came and said he had an order to release me, and of course I hooped and hollered, and I said, "Can I see that?" And it said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." And there was a condition on there that I would not interfere with my deputies issuing marriage license. And I handed it back to him, and I said, "I'll just stay." And he said, "I can't do that, Miss Davis." He said, "I have an order to release you." And so I made a national statement, at the first day back to work, that I wasn't going to be issuing, there would be no license issued with my authority or anything like that. But I simply gave myself an accommodation that the license were going to be issued pursuant to a federal court order. And then I put my court order and David Bunning's name, the judge. And, that was all I was asking for, was a very simple and meager accommodation.